Why Paranormal Activity Next of Kin is a bland horror film. Horror movie lovers, your wait is over. The highly lauded found footage franchise Paranormal Activity returns with its seventh installment, Paranormal Activity Next of Kin. The sixth film of this series saw the demon Toby defeated, with the seventh edition venturing into uncharted territory. Now fans were expecting that Next of Kin would bring back the original Paranormal Activity vibes, but the movie has shockingly failed to do so. It may come as a surprise to you that the wait wasn't worth it. So what has gone wrong? Is the story not good enough or what? Stay tuned with us, because we will be explaining today why the Paranormal Activity Next of Kin is a bland horror film. So let's get into more details. But there will be spoilers ahead, so if you have not watched this movie and you are smart, value your time and don't care about the spoilers, this video is definitely for you. Earlier on 7th of October, we saw the trailer of Next of Kin, the 7th installment of the Paranormal Activity franchise, and public had mixed reactions on the trailer. Some fans really liked the trailer, while others already guessed that the upcoming movie would be totally in contradiction to the original theme of Paranormal Activity. Next of Kin, which was written and directed by Christopher Landon and William Eubank, released on October 29, 2021, and is now available on Paramount Plus. Now, as intriguing the title of this new film may seem, the Paranormal Activity Next of Kin, however, did not meet the expectations of fans who were expecting a real horror show. The movie is pretty bland when it comes to portraying some real horror, and when it does in the end, it seems like too little too late. Paranormal Activity first released in 2007 and was a great success, with audiences awestruck by the gradual but building terror of the found footage home video. A new movement in the horror genre was sparked by Oren Peli's Supernatural Home Invasion Fright Fest, which was later inducted into the horror genre's Hall of Fame. It's not a stretch to say that the film's effective scares helped to establish it as a classic. Naturally, it delved into sequel territory soon thereafter, resulting in the formation of a successful series. Until the fifth installment, the films maintained the same successful formula: a sinister, invisible, demonic power at work in a home full of innocent people until it was defeated. The fifth and sixth films began to diverge from the original storyline, and the seventh and most recent film, Paranormal Activity Next of Kin, reminds us that this is no longer the same franchise we know and love. That franchise is clearly lost. When it comes to horrors and scares, Paranormal Activity Next of Kin is light on the ground and heavy on the imagination. Next of Kin is a soft reboot that takes the series away from Katie Featherston and her demon Toby, altering both the fundamental concept and the main antagonist. After the disappointing performance of 2015's The Ghost Dimension, this seems to be a wise strategy for revitalizing the Paranormal Activity franchise. Nevertheless, Next of Kin fails to produce even a quarter of the thrills and tension that the previous 6 Paranormal Activity films have delivered. Let's talk about the narrative of Next of Kin. With the release of Paranormal Activity Next of Kin, a new narrative structure is introduced. When compared to the previous installments in the franchise, which are all basically collections of found footage such as home movies, security footage, or other types of footage that capture an increasing number of supernatural events, Next of Kin is presented as footage from a documentary, much like the original The Blair Witch Project. Margot films her quest to find more about her biological parents with the assistance of filmmaker Chris and hired sound tech Dale. As a result, she is sent to a remote Amish community where the story takes a somewhat nasty turn. Margot was pushed into the middle of a conspiracy that she cannot understand. Sarah, her biological mother, has mysteriously vanished since she was a child. Even though Sarah no longer appears to be an Amish resident, no one will publicly discuss her whereabouts, while Margot's biological grandfather, Father Jacob, shows joy that she has returned to them. The patriarch is evasive. Margot takes on the role of a prodigal daughter with hints that otherworldly powers are at play. Margot is very important in Paranormal Activity Next of Kin, yet sadly her character's journey is insufficient to carry the plot. The stakes were evident in the original Paranormal Activity. The horrors transpired as Katie slept in her own house, and she seemed helpless against the malicious entity that had taken hold of her. Even in the subsequent flicks, Toby materialized in a variety of ways, torturing innocent, unprepared victims in the comfort of their own homes. However, the stakes in Next of Kin are unclear, and it is unclear why the individuals feel obliged to investigate the community. Margot is the agent of change. She comes freely to the farm, stays for many days, and basically seeks problems at every chance. While characters in horror films are expected to make hasty decisions that put them in danger, Margot's near-constant pursuit of trouble borders on the implausible, and her flagrant disregard for her host's boundaries and privacy makes her uninteresting and unsympathetic. Now just a moment, if you are enjoying this video, please hit the like button. We really appreciate this. Next of Kin takes an unexpectedly conservative approach to the subject, concentrating too much on the unsettlingly distinct Amish culture and depending excessively on artificial suspense and the odd jump right for thrills. For most of the film, the tension is almost entirely built around Margot doing things she should not be doing, either overtly or implicitly. Since what she is doing is blatantly and dangerously dumb, it's irritating to watch Next of Kin fetishize the Amish way of life, excusing Margot, Chris, and Dale's breaches of trust on the grounds because their hosts are weird. This includes peeping in private rooms, spying on farm workers, and even breaking into a church despite being informed that it is a holy space that is off limits to the public. This kind of anxiety-inducing tension is more unpleasant than frightening, and since there are few sequences involving true paranormal activity, the overall effect is an unpleasant movie-going experience. Next of Kin is quite badly executed. Next of Kin is too focused on the religious element, which is badly executed. Many sequences show the Amish as hospitable, quiet people who seem genuine and kind. Not only do they dress, shelter, and feed the main protagonists, but the film also features shots of them singing, dancing, and playing outdoors. The oddest thing Margot notices is some people of the town visiting an isolated church in the woods at night. Margot's late-night spying would have made a lot more sense if the film had established more real stakes. For example, if she walked into the community to uncover her mother's murder, or if her documentary was about unusual events in the region. Margot eventually comes across some very wicked acts. The huge surprise, not as it was spoiled by the trailer, regarding the church in the woods, is self-evident, yet still manages to seem superficial. This is the moment at which the shaky story begins to unravel completely. The childishly literal drawings on the floor, written in English, even though everything else has been in German, practically lay out the whole scheme. Later in the film, Dale and Chris are shown researching the demon by spending 30 seconds on what looks to be a wiki page that conveniently has all the necessary information. So easy, right? Just Googling a demon. It overstretches the suspension of disbelief and detracts from the film's little momentum up to that point. At the end of the day, Paranormal Activity Next of Kin is neither credible nor interesting. Its depiction of rural American life was compelling, but not so much so that it seemed like a horror picture. While there are some pleasant moments and at least a few of memorable, terrifying situations, the film's majority is bland and forgettable. So we will end our video here. We hope you have got a pretty good understanding of why this movie is nothing but bland. If you had grabbed your popcorn and the lights were turned off to experience the real horror, sorry fellas, this isn't a movie for you. Better play hide and seek in the dark. If you have any thoughts, let us know in the comment section. We will keep bringing you such videos, so stay tuned with us and we will see you in the next one.